Hi everyone, this is Balázs from RacingBrick and welcome to another episode of my Rebrickable series. Today I picked the LEGO Icon set from 2022, the 1298 Vespa 125. It's still available from LEGO, although rumored to retire this year, so if you don't have it yet, now's the time to grab one, links below. The Vespa has some surprisingly cool alternate builds on Rebrickable, so I get 2 extra sets to try out today. The first design is by Inidatti. He has tons of great alternates, and honestly some of his Corvette redesigns look better than the originals. Also, building a racing aircraft from the Fiat 500 was pure genius. He actually has 2 alternates for the Vespa, and fun fact, neither is a motorcycle. Today we will build the Morgan 3-wheeler, and I'm really curious how we will make a 3-wheeler out of a set that only has 2 wheels. The base starts out a bit loose during the first 10 steps, but once everything locks in, it's solid. Then comes the front axle with the engine, clever techniques and nice detailing here. Some of the connections are tricky and the complexity keeps building up. The steering wheel sort of works and can be adjusted, and there's a tiny windshield that looks perfect from this angle. A few steps later, most of the unnecessary parts are covered anyway. My favorite trick, the brick-built rear wheel. Despite the limited parts, it's a brilliant solution. The rear section feels a bit fragile while assembling, but it becomes solid once the big panel goes on. You wouldn't see some of these connections in an official LEGO set, but they do work. Finish of the seat, lights, and a few sub-assemblies go on the side. The last items to add are the wheels. Be careful not to push the axles in too far or they will not fit. We can now remove the temporary support and the build rolls. We are finished. Now let's move on to the second build. This one is by geraldcacas, who also has many alternates and custom MOCs. His Ducati from the Vespa looks great, but I really wanted to build Kaneda's iconic bike from Akira. Sure, it's not red, but the shapes work surprisingly well with the Vespa's parts, and it gave me an excuse to rewatch that masterpiece. This one's quite modular. The manual starts with a nice overview of the sub-assemblies and some really neat angles appear early on. There's even an optional support stand, very handy while building. Step 98 gave me a surprise. It asked for a 10 4x4 plate, but both were already used. Turns out the designer fixed this already, but the PDF I downloaded still had the old version. I later found the 2 extra correction images in the file list, so the update steps are there, just hidden. Lesson learned, always check all the files before you start building. This assembly goes here. It is a snug fit, but it should work. Now mount the rear wheel, then attach the other side. This step is a bit tricky and the build will become rear heavy immediately. The back of the seat goes in, then we cover the middle section. With this assembly in place, the rear is mostly finished. Next is the movable section at the front, attached with toe balls. This part includes many details, such as the gauges and handlebars. Now the front wheel is added. The support axles are quite short on both sides, but in the end it should roll like this. Only a couple of details remain, a cover for the front, then one for the rear, and the build is finished. Here are the 2 alternates side by side, completely different despite sharing the same parts. Add the original Vespa next to them, and it's amazing what these designers managed to achieve from one inventory. The Morgan 3-wheeler has great front-end details, the lights, engine, suspension, and that windshield trick still stands out. The brick-built rear wheel actually works and the back looks clean and smooth. Kaneda's bike captures the iconic silhouette really well. The proportions aren't perfect, but close enough for an alternate build. The missing windshield is the only major omission. The steering is limited but functional, and there are many mechanical details visible if we remove the front cover section. The shaping works, and we can even take it off the stand and it rolls, although it is clearly intended as a display piece. Both builds are surprisingly sturdy. The Morgan's exhaust imitation is its weakest point. On the bike, the last 2 covers can pop off easily, so handle it carefully. Interestingly, the Morgan looks bigger but the bike is heavier, it's a denser build. In terms of instructions, the Morgan was the smoother experience, clear, easy with only one minor error. The bike's PDF is lower resolution, making dark blue parts tricky to identify, and the corrections could be better integrated. As you can see among the comments, I also experienced these 2 pieces missing towards the end. They were easy to replace with other colors, but there is room for improvement. Still, both offer solid value for money and a fun challenge if you own the Vespa. Totally worth checking out. Both designs are linked below and in the pinned comment. Let me know what you think, which one would you build first? Let's talk about it in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe with notifications as more exciting LEGO videos are coming soon. See you next time, bye bye.